very first episode of Hustle, Heal, and Heals, the podcast where ambition meets self-care.
We're your host, Fifi.
And Kiara.
Two corporate girlies spilling the raw tea on navigating careers, fitness, and all things that make life both chaotic and beautiful.
From gym struggles to travel adventures and late-night baking fails, we're keeping it raw, relatable, and a little unhinged.
Now that you've gotten a little taste of what to expect when you tune into our podcast, let's dive into today's topic, which is the fear of starting something new. Ironically, exactly what we're doing.
So grab a coffee, take a deep breath, and join us on this new adventure.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get started.
Anxiety of starting something new.
The anxiety I'm feeling right now.
Yes. Okay, maybe let's start with how this came about, why we decided to start this, and how we actually came up with this topic. Because I remember the exact moment you're like, the first podcast episode should be about the anxiety of starting something new, when you were supposed to be spotting me on the bench press at gym. A little bit distracted there, but it's okay.
Multitasking. It's an art form.
It is an art form.
It is an art form.
So anyway, our podcast was born from actually both of us restarting our fitness journeys at the beginning of 2025.
We did a lot of starting new things and restarting things this year.
Yes.
So just for some context for everybody else, we embarked on fitness journeys some years back and did really well with them until life got in our way and we had to stop. So one of our plans...
Yeah, not a resolution.
Yeah, one of our plans for 2025 was that we were going to get back into it and we were going to be balancing self-care and fitness and all of the things that really, I think, just made us happy.
Yeah.
Like, when you got to the end of the year, we just wanted to be like, cool.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. And I think the fitness thing was just the easiest thing for us to start off because we had goals at the end of each quarter that we wanted to reach because we had events happening. So like, well, we've got this to work towards and then we've got that in the middle of the year and then we've got that at the end of the year. So it gave us milestones to kind of like cement our journey. And then we just had to try and figure out how to fit it into our lives because life will always get in the way. But we couldn't let it slip this time because we had each other to hold accountable, sort of. So we made a plan and then we stuck to the plan, sort of. Took a few detours.
Dove head first into the plan.
Yes.
We said that we were going to gym and come Monday morning, I think it was like the first week in February, it was, I'll see you at 5:30 tomorrow morning. 5 a.m., by the way.
Yes.
And yeah, it started and it hasn't stopped. And essentially this podcast was born the second day into us restarting the fitness journey because we were having a conversation at work with all of our other colleagues about what we were experiencing. Just chatter around the table.
Yeah. We had both, like, as Kiara mentioned, we'd both done fitness journeys in the past, but those were individual journeys. Like, she did her own thing, I did my own thing, and this was the first time we both had, like, an accountability partner. So every morning, even though none of us wanted to be there, we'd wake up and we'd go to the gym at 5:30 because I knew Kiara would be there. She knew I would be there. And then because we were using the same machines, we're following a schedule, we're following a routine, your eyes just wander sometimes and you just absorb what's happening around you because you're so relaxed, you're so comfortable with the person you're working out with, and you just notice things that you wouldn't notice if you just had your earphones in and you're just focusing on yourself. And then we just shared those observations with some of the colleagues.
The little tales, the small quirks that we were picking up.
Yes. So we shared those with our colleagues and then they were like, wow, you guys should just have a podcast because I would listen to your guys' gym stories like all the time. And then we just sort of looked at each other. We were like, let's start a podcast.
We're going to start a podcast. And I think it was like a joke for 5 seconds.
Yes.
And then it spiraled into, well, this.
It did. Yeah. Because one thing you'll learn as you come on this journey with us, is that I am that type A friend. So we said, oh, let's start a podcast, and it was a joke. And then we both went back to our desks, and it took me all of half an
24
hour.
hours?
Yeah, 24 hours. The next day I had a plan for the podcast, I had some names, I had a whole financial strategy. It was fantastic. And then she looked at me like I'd gone crazy, but thankfully I'd already built in some love. So she had to just adopt me along the way.
I think it also helps that I'm the friend that will be like, you want to do what? You sure? You have a plan? Okay, cool. How long is it going to take us? Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
That friend. Anything you want. Cool, we'll do it. As long as you're not risking your life, we're fine.
Yeah, so it worked really well. And then 24 hours after someone casually mentioned us having a podcast, we started creating this podcast. And that was terrifying because we're like, I know we just talk and I know we have a lot of banter, but
do other people want to listen to us talk?
Yes. Are we going to be interesting for other people?
Are we also just funny to each other only?
Is it a weird humor? And then we're just going to find out that actually it's just an us thing. It's not a we thing.
Maybe there's a tribe and like there are more of us.
Yes.
We need to find their tribe.
Yes, we need to find. Yeah, this is your tribe. If you feel like you might only be funny to your best friend, I promise you, I'll probably find you funny. So then, yeah, when we started the podcast, and then it was a very scary, and we came up with a plan, and that was our starting something new, which we dove headfirst in whilst restarting our fitness journeys. And then whilst deciding what we're going to be doing with this podcast, like I said, we're sitting at the bench press at the gym, and Carol's like, you know what? Our first episode should be the anxiety of starting something new, because this is exactly what it feels like. We're starting something new, or we're restarting our fitness journey, and there's so much anxiety surrounding it, which we could not fathom. It's like we're both comfortable in the gym. We know what we're doing in the gym. Why are we so scared about being in the gym and restarting our journeys all over again? And that's what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, and I think and the nice part I think for us was that it wasn't just us. Like there were people around us that had gone through the same thing before, and people that were currently going through the same thing. Like, you want to start it, you want to be disciplined, and you want to feel the way you felt when you were 21, and where you could, you were indestructible.
Yeah.
You could pick up anything and move any weight, and you were Hercules.
Yes, and you could increase your reps and weight every week. You just kept getting stronger and stronger. I swear, before 25, you are made up of rubber and magic.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing that you cannot do. You're indestructible. You just levitate.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then you hit a certain age and the back and the knees and the ankles start letting you know that you're not going to be doing that.
Random muscle that you didn't know that you had starts like feeling a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm. And the harsh reality that we had to face is that we couldn't dive in the way we had in our early 20s, where we just hit the gym 6 days a week and increased our weight. Well, we do hit the gym. We try to hit the gym 6 days a week. But a lot of that, we've got some stretching classes now, focusing on mobility, got some Pilates thrown in there. Just,
We're slightly stubborn, and it took us a few weeks to realize that we needed all of that. And it needed to be a nice balance between the heavy lifting and the self-caring.
Yes.
So that you could really heal, which is, I think, something we try to place a little bit of emphasis on now.
Yeah, I couldn't walk for a week after like our first leg day.
Oh God, yeah, I remember that.
People at work were like, "What's wrong with you? Are you hurt? Are you injured?" I was like, "No," because I felt embarrassed to say that. I just overdid myself at the gym. And then I remember it was even Wendy, and she came up to me and was like, "Did you just start going to the gym again?" I was like, "You shouldn't do that. Look at you now. You can't walk. This is why being a couch potato is like the way to go." And I was like, "I feel you. But this is a real problem. I've never had to face this issue before." And then I signed up for my first stretch class. So just to work out that muscle.
Yeah, and that stretch class made us feel things that we've never felt before. We thought we were in pain that first week that we started. The pain we were in after that stretch class was something else entirely.
Yep. And then it just like, we came to the realization that in your early 20s, yes, there is some hustle culture, but a lot of it is placed on having fun, making the most of being young and wild and carefree and responsibility free if you're privileged enough to experienced that we just didn't have anymore. So now that we're in our late 20s, there's more emphasis on building your career, on hustle and grinding and getting up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. and having an entire day before the rest of the world gets up. And we felt like we were doing that. 5 a.m., I must admit, was a stretch for us both. And we left the AMs for the
Yeah, because
morning
if you
warriors.
start getting up at like 2 or 3 a.m.,
No.
I'm going to be worried about you and not supporting that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I hate getting to the gym and it being dark. So, but 5 a.m. we felt like we were finally getting into that hustle. Yeah. We were getting into the gym. We were getting our cardio in. We were getting our strength training in. And then we were going to work and we were pushing ourselves at work. And there was a bunch of initiatives that we set goals for ourselves in terms of our careers, just to grow, expand, hustle in our careers. And then along the way, your body just starts to break down. And we were like 2 months, 3 months into the year, and we're like, why does it feel like it should be September already? Like, I feel like the end of the year should be now, and we should be gathering to say happy holidays. And then the healing came into about, and then we realized that actually, yes, there's the hustle, but there's another element to it, and we need to pay attention to that element, or we were never making it to the end of the year. We're going to be burnt out before the half-year mark even came.
Yeah, but that was because I think one of the things that comes with like the fear of restarting something new was the potential fear of failing.
Yes.
And like they're so closely correlated.
Yes. You can fail when you're like 21, 22. No one cares. It's like expected of you. You're young,
Yeah, the emotional capacity to fail that much later on in life, not great.
Not great. When you're nearing 30, it becomes like...
I'm supposed to have it together.
Yes, I'm
it's
supposed
all
to know.
Supposed to work.
I'm supposed to know exactly.
Better.
Yeah, exactly what I want to do with my life and my career. I'm supposed to be well cemented in my job, climbing a corporate ladder, house, family, kids, marriage. Everything starts to play around, especially because in social media, that's all you see. You see an engagement, you see a wedding, you see someone buying a new car, buying a new house, going on a 80-day cruise or whatever. I remember that time. I don't think those people mustn't think we forgot about them doing that 9-month cruise around the world. Yeah, so you just see all this stuff and you just feel like you're falling behind. That everyone else has it all together and they're your age. They've got the career, they've got the money, they've got the body, they've got everything sorted and they have it all figured out. And you're just...
Where do I start?
Yes.
What am I supposed to be doing?
What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, what am I doing wrong? What am I supposed to be doing?
And as those thoughts like come into your brain, you have no capacity to even remotely think about doing a move, changing anything. You just think, let me just stick to this and just beat it harder, like work harder at it until it works. And the thought of maybe you just need a switch in the routine kind of feels like that might be the last thing, like your 13th reason, and you just... because if it doesn't work, oh gosh. And also, as you get older, you feel like your family also places a lot more pressure on you to have your shit together.
I feel like we just place that pressure on ourselves.
We do, because... But you feel like you're
supposed to.
Yes, you're supposed to. Let me make my parents proud.
Let me be the one to take care of them.
Yeah, and... when you're...
Give them something to brag about.
You love it. They love bragging about their kids. Especially if your parents are exceptionally proud of where you are, which most parents are. You feel like if you want to make a change or do something unorthodox, like starting a podcast, that could be seen as a bit of a left turn to more traditional parents. And that just adds a layer to the anxiety, because not only do you don't think you can do it. Well, you fear you might not be able to do it. It's an added fear of what if I do it and it doesn't work. And then not only will I have disappointed myself, I'll have disappointed them as well. Yeah. And that is a tough pill to swallow.
Here's the anxiety back again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's okay.
It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's gonna be okay.
So yeah, that's been our first 3 months.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster.
It has.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we actually did kind of talk about was what we were going to do this year in terms of how we were going to live for the plot in 2025. And we developed this like whole plan that just helped. I think like it was really nice skeleton of what the non-negotiables were that we were going to be doing for the year, and a little bit of like energy management and all of that was part of it, which kind of helped the fear element.
Yeah.
Because it was like, this is where I see myself at the end of the year, and this is what I need to do to get there. And it was, looking back like 5 years ago, and it was, I've done all of these things, and like 18-year-old me would be so proud.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just do a little bit more discipline in my life, and a little less procrastination, and
Yes.
a little less being scared of what I think or what... No, I care about what you think. I think just being a little less in your head about what everybody else is going to think was like a really huge thing to like kind of get over, because at the end of the year, what is me at 29 gonna feel about what I did when I was 28 to make sure that I could make life easier for her?
Yeah.
And like that's one of the things I keep thinking about, because I read it somewhere about like discipline being a promise to yourself.
Yes.
Like to your future self, to make sure that you do what you said you were going to do to like get to where you need to be.
Yeah. And you'll hear this a lot in all the motivational little snippets and stuff, but life can either be easy now and hard later.
Oh yeah.
Or hard now and easy later. So like at the end of 2024, I really sat down with myself. I was like, what did I want to do this year?
Yeah.
And what did I do this year that I'm proud of, and what didn't I do, and why didn't I do it? And there are some things that are just beyond your control, sure. But I noticed that a lot of the things, if not all of the things that I didn't do that I wanted to do, was just that I was just too scared. Like I let the anxiety get the better of me, and I was just like, I decided that it wasn't that important because I wasn't willing to push through the anxiety.
You just had to get out of your own way.
Yes. And then I thought to myself, well, if it wasn't important, why would I still be thinking about it now? I would have forgotten about it. And I really want to do it. And one thing that really helped me was like when I created my plan, I thought, what do I want to do that I know whether if I succeed or if I fail, I'll just be proud that I did it in any event.
Yeah.
Something that I know will scare me, but I pushed through it and I did it anyway. So whether pass or fail, it doesn't matter. I did it anyway. And then I noted all those things down, and then we do the vision boards and and the New Year's resolutions and all that, and that's great. It's fantastic having like that visual representation of what you want to achieve. But as Kiara mentioned, we created a plan. So we didn't have goals.
We had an action plan with milestones.
Yes. And we spent days crafting the plan and ensuring that we had outlined everything that we needed in order to get to the end result.
Yeah.
That's another thing that helps. Having someone. You need one person. You don't need a village. Literally just one person who's willing to go on this journey with you. And I get it, in today's world it is very hard to find that accountability partner. Some people might be far from their loved ones. Some people listen to this might be in the early 20s and not in the late 20s, and you're still trying to find your circle, which is an incredible journey, and it's okay. Have us as your circle. So whatever you're starting, if you're too scared to start it, if you said you were going to start it in January and now it's April, and you have not started it yet, we can be a partner for you. Yeah, might as well start it now. We can be the partner for you while you're still trying to find your accountability partner. Let us know what you want to start. Why haven't you started it? If you're going to start it again. But having that partner, having someone to kind of push you through your own limitations that you set yourself, it makes the world of difference, because best believe when I think, oh my gosh, I can't do this, Kiara will be like, no, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. I have no clue how we're gonna solve it, but it'll be fine, it'll get solved, and we'll make it through this. Because 99% of the barriers that you think you're facing can be solved with two heads instead of one.
That's true. And I think, like, okay, look, at this phase of our lives, like, I know we're not old, but I think to us we are, because like in our late 20s it feels like we're fossils. But I think, like, you look back and I think everything that we've accomplished in our lives, it's like you remember all of the struggle. So you're like, I can't do this. It's not going to work. This is so difficult. And it just kind of helps to have, like, one single time where you didn't think things were going to work. And it really felt like that was the lowest low and that was the worst it could possibly get. And, like, if you've come back from that and if things turn around, it's so helpful. And I think one of the reason that we did the action plan was because, and the key element of our action plan was things that we could control.
Yeah.
Well, control in inverted commas, because you never have 100% control of anything. But debatable. Let's not get into that. It was things that were in our control. It was decisions that we could directly make. It was, you choose to get up at 5 a.m. You choose to increase the weight. You choose to study. You choose to make a plan. You just, it's the choices that you have control over making every single day that we made sure that we kind of put into that plan, because it was going to help us get to where we needed to be, and it was going to help us come at the fear of starting, because we had that goal or that milestone that we were going to need to reach.
Yeah. And a lot of the times you don't reach that goal of milestone, not because of obstacles along the way. The toughest hurdle, I promise you now, the hardest part of starting this podcast was sitting down with just the two of us in a room and just talking and just recording it. So it is really just starting. And once you're in it, it feels less insurmountable. You feel like you can actually do it because you've gotten over the mental hurdle.
Yeah. Because like, even starting this right now, I think we sat and we sweated and we tried to procrastinate it for a good 30 minutes until we realized we needed to just do it.
Yeah, just press record and start.
Yeah. And here we are. A lot of minutes later, just very, very, very comfortable. So sometimes really just need to start it.
Yeah.
How do we start next?
What are we going to start next?
I don't know. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. Well, technically, we started the year with our fitness. And we have a plan. There's like many facets of the plan. As Kiara mentioned, we do a lot of stuff here. There's going to be a lot of baking talk, a lot of travel talk. We've got some fun stuff lined up for the year. And another thing...
Our theme for the year
is just living the year as an experiment. Just for the plot. So we're treating 2025 as an experiment. Yeah. So saying yes to anything that might give us pause in the past, when we think, oh, what will they think? What will he think? What if it doesn't work? What if it fails? What if no one cares? But we're living for the plot and we're saying yes. And we've already said yes to quite a few things this year. So you'll be hearing about it as and when they happen. But there's a lot coming.
I'm so excited for 2025.
we've got quite a few things coming up. It's gonna be a very chaotic year.
I'm very excited.
Very excited.
Like 3 months in, and it gets really exciting every single time.
I know, and that's what I was like. Let's just think about quarters. So we just finished our first Q1, and at the end of the first Q1, we had a friend's wedding.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about in another podcast because it deserves its own spotlight.
Oh, that episode, the wedding and the prep for the wedding.
Yes.
It needs its own episode because unhinged.
So unhinged.
The prep was unbelievably unhinged, but the actual wedding day was unbelievably beautiful.
It was. The lead up to that, it felt like we built, and then it was there and we had no idea what to do with the excitement and the anxiety and the just general stress of building up to that moment, and it was just the perfect day. But that's its own, we'll get to that. And there's a lot of traveling that will be happening this year as well. A lot of, Kiara's a baker. So when she talked about late night baking fails, you direct all questions to her. I can't bake to save my life. I get easy mix and I still mess it up. So there will be lots of cooking. We are on a fitness journey, so trying to find foods that taste good.
Yeah, we're also doing some traveling this year, so a little bit more for you because I'm going to be stepping a bit out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
Which is going to be interesting as well. But the thing that I'm taking away from all of this actually is like how excited we are for the year.
Yeah.
And how like all of the things that we've been so scared about, we've actually turned into excitement by
we have
like creating an action plan with milestones, because now we have things to look forward to.
Yep.
And like, even if something just fails along the way, it's okay.
Okay, it is okay. I'm beyond excited about the traveling. I love to travel. I have such a big wanderlust. And
if you have any travel questions, Fifi will be your personal travel guide.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love planning trips. So I'm basically planning Kiara and Kiara and all of our friends' trips at the same time. So I'm your go-to for travel, anything travel related, and I do have a couple trips lined up myself. And you can get the behind the scenes on our travel, get the instant feedback from our travel over on the Instagram, because we'll be posting on there. And I am also a gamer, so you'll be seeing a lot of gaming content also coming through your way, because why wouldn't a corporate girlie in her late 20s play Fortnite? It makes perfect sense, right? Like, I'm so proud to say that to all my colleagues and my seniors at work when they ask, what did you do over this weekend? Oh, you know what? The new Fortnite season launched. So I sat and I played that. It's not weird at all. Not something that I'm scared to say out loud in our building.
Do you know what you're forgetting? All of the books that we have to read this year. Also, all of the books that we've read this year.
Yes. I did a little count. I have read 13 books this year. Already.
Yeah, no, there was a day where we read a book a day for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, there was
3 books, 3 days.
Yeah. We were like on fire that week, and the books were just so digestible. And they just made us feel good and eased our anxiety. So that's also something that this is a bit chaotic, but we told you that at the beginning, so you should have expected it. But another tip of trying to combat anxiety, especially when it comes to starting something new or restarting something, is find your comfort, something to draw back to that doesn't detach from what you're doing. So it doesn't pull you away from what you want to do, but it provides a level of comfort and helps you get through the moment. So reading for us became that comfort, because we were digesting a lot of books and we realized that could be a lot of content for you guys, because we can give you recommendations. But I have been in a reading slump, considering Kiara made me read Fourth Wing for the first time.
I make no apologies.
And she didn't tell me what to expect. For anyone who hasn't read the book that is listening, I will not spoil it. But yeah, that was an interesting day, reading that book.
I feared for my life when she was done.
She should have, because I was led to believe that this was just a romance book about dragons in just some made-up place and whose names I can't pronounce, because why would I ever be able to? Please, all fantasy authors, release like a playlist on Spotify with you saying the names that you're writing in your books, so I know what voice to have in my head. It makes the reading experience so much easier. But yeah, there's a lot of book content coming your way as well. And there was something else, because we both been in a reading slump, a real reading slump before we started this.
So when we did our action plan, we also did a book list plan, because we used to be really, what is the word?
Avid,
yeah. We used to be really avid readers back when we were younger. And then, again, life catches up with you and it gets in the way of all things fun and happy. And one of the things that we wanted to do this year was starting to read again. And Fees was telling me about how the 1 year she read books per month based on monthly themes.
Yeah.
And so we figured we'd do that again this year. And we currently just pick books at the moment that require attention. So, you know, when you gotta sit down and nothing else in the world needs to matter except you and your book? Yeah, those are the books that we've chosen to read at the moment, hence the slump. So also, if you have light and fluffy books that, you know, soft pieces, like the one days, let us know because we will devour them and we will also just give you recommendations. Shout out to Nisha Sharma. Amazing author.
Yes.
Her books were the books that we read one after the other.
Yes.
Absolute.
What's the series called? Shakespeare Love? Or
If Shakespeare was an auntie.
If Shakespeare was an auntie.
Shakespeare was an auntie.
Oh, please go read that series. It is
so good.
Absolutely divine. So good. We devoured it. Absolutely love that. So yes, please give us book recommendations. And also...
So, pro tip. If you don't like going to the gym, and I know we've been using the gym as an example a lot, but it has worked for us. So one of the things that we kind of tend to shy away from is cardio at the end of a session because it's always full, it's always busy. But when I was trying to get back into it, I found that like kind of just going to the gym and walking on a treadmill and having my book with me was very, very, very helpful. Pick a book you like. Take it with you. And you just get lost in a different world, so you're not going to even notice the fear.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true. Which, full circle back to find something that's comforting, that helps you get to your goal without not taking you away from it. So that was reading for us. So we read at the gym while doing cardio because we both hate doing cardio.
Yeah.
And that really worked for us. In our whole bookish episode, we'll deep dive into the books we read, the books we want to read, the books you shouldn't read or have as an audiobook while you're at work, Kiara.
And a list of all the book boyfriends.
Yes,
in order,
our favorite
by
book
reason.
I know I haven't seen this happen on YouTube a lot, but back when I was on BookTube, I think it was called, they used to do like a mid-year freak out where they just had a bunch of book questions and you answered them. So we might do that, which would be cool. But before that, we need to know what your book recommendations are. What are you reading? What have you read? What are you excited for? What are you excited for to read this year? And yeah, you can head over to our Instagram to get those comments and recommendations in.
Yeah, and then I think before we kind of sort of just pro tip you into how to actually combat the fear of starting something new or restarting something, like we said, we're into a lot of things and we will try things and test things and be your guinea pigs. So we're very excited to see where this journey takes us and we're very excited for what this kind of brings us. And we would love for you to tell us what you want to be hearing, what would get you, what you'd be interested in, what you want us to try, test, and be your guinea pigs for. What's going to make you feel like you're part of this tribe? And if you're stuck or not feeling so great and you need a pick-me-up and you need two big sisters, just let us know how we can be there.
Yeah. 2 big sisters, I like that.
I have 2 siblings.
I also have a sibling.
Big sister, yeah. Oh, gosh. What is a pro tip for how to overcome fear of starting something new?
Well, I think the first thing you need to get to grips with is if it's really important to you. Because there's some things that are there to serve as a distraction from what your actual goal is. Because like that scares me too much, so I'm going to start all these side quests.
Yeah.
In the hopes that I'll build up enough courage to actually face what I want to face. Yeah, side quests are not going to work this year. This year is an experiment, so it actually doesn't count if you fail. So one of the biggest pro tips is to sort of get rid of the noise and the clutter that you've filled your life with to distract you from the fact that you're not working towards what you want to work towards. It's unfortunately facing that fear head on. Failing fast. So I remember my first day at work. I got a job I didn't think I was qualified for, so that was fantastic. I sort of applied on a whim saying maybe they'll take me, and they did. See, I took a chance, but I was like 22, so There was no fear. You just sort of go for it. A lot harder now when you're 28 and you wanna go for it, and the going for it is, it kind of hurts your ego if it doesn't work out. But anyway, but one of the things that stuck with me is that one of the seniors said, if you're going to fail fast so we can fix it.
I think I was told the same. So like our very first project, and when I actually started my job, I was actually switching kind of sort of career paths, because what I wanted to do turns out was not what I actually wanted to do, and maybe we'll get into that some other time. But one of the things that I started when we started that first project, I remember being so terrified because everything was new. The company was new, the people were new, the work was new, and I remember one of the seniors being, just fail fast. Just do it and fail fast so that you can get past it and you can learn.
Yes.
And you can start again.
Yeah. A lot of the times, people with a bit more experience than you understand that there's a certain anxiety with starting something new. Hence your two bigger sisters telling you that. But if you're going to start something, failure is kind of non-optional.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, it's a part of life. And if you're going to fail fast. So just do it. Get it over and done with. The most important part of that is getting back up.
Yeah.
And continuing on.
And you will always be okay.
You will. It seems like the end of the world. It never is.
Take a deep breath. Grab a nice coffee. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Just breathe through it. You'll be fine.
Maybe a slice of chocolate cake as well.
Yeah, that helps. Always. Ice cream. Ice cream always helps. It solves everything. But yeah, if you're going to fail fast, and then you get over it. But you have to face that fear, that anxiety head on. I think that's my pro tip. You feel the anxiety, you feel the fear, and you do it anyway, because that's what courage is.
Yeah.
And without courage, then taking that first step is like never going to happen. It's just having enough courage to believe that you'll be okay regardless of the result. Because that's what really really scares you, is like, what if I fail? How is that going to feel? And it's that fear. It's the fear of that feeling that keeps you from doing it, because it feels like you won't survive it.
You have to have the bad that makes the good as it's going to be, though.
Yeah.
Again, like I remember one of the seniors saying, feel everything. Like, celebrate the small wins, celebrate the big wins. If you want to feel like shit if something fails, feel that way, because you're going to have to feel scrappy on some days and you have to feel fantastic on some days.
Yeah.
And if you fail and it's not okay, that's okay, because it will be okay. You'll feel it and really genuinely just feel it, rather than automatically going into
a spiral.
Yeah, a spiral, but not even like that. I know a lot of people, me as well, like, you get scared, you fail, and you're like, cool, what's the plan of action now? Rather than just sitting and feeling like crap for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Where
you just really feel it and you're like, okay, cool, I'm done now.
Yes.
Now we can move on.
Yes, you
rather
have
than avoiding it.
Yeah. Don't dwell in your feelings, but sit in them for a while.
Yeah.
Acknowledge them and go, okay,
feel it through you.
Acknowledge it, and then be like, deep breaths, wipe the tears, and what's next? I think I had to do that for a project once where I did not perform as I know I can and as everyone expected me to, and I just had to sit in that for a moment, cry about it for a bit, and then suck it up and going, okay, how do I finish strong? Because it's not the end of the world. It's never the end of the world. Even when you're in your early 20s, in your late 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, it's never the end of the world. But it does end if you stop.
Yes. And only you can keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of pro tips there.
Yeah. I'm feeling slightly motivated to do something. I'm not sure what, but something.
It's something.
Something.
Well, we do have gym 5:30 in the morning tomorrow, so that's it. Keep it up till then.
Right then.
On that note, let us know what you guys are going to be starting, what you have started.
What you'd like to start.
Yeah. Let us accompany you on that journey.
Yeah. And I think if there's anything else, like if there's anything specific, then just drop us a DM on Instagram and we will without doubt get back to you.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.